At this hour, I'm Christina AGuayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. There are now at least 3 active wildfires burning out of control in the Los Angeles area, burning thousands of acres with 0% containment. The Sylmar Fire, the Eaton Fire, and the Palisades Fire, which is the largest of the 3, jarring at least 4,000 acres so far. Tens of thousands of people are under evacuation orders. Jewish centers, churches, historic institutions, and landmarks, along with homes and entire neighborhoods, burn as the fire races across the state. Horses are being evacuated as people are seen walking their pets down the streets with a fire just yards away. Flames jumped the highway. Some people considered sheltering at the beach, while workers at a Pasadena care home raced to evacuate elderly residents with the blaze just a block away. The fire started on Tuesday. Firefighters are working overtime but are facing challenges like strong winds, dry conditions, and they're even running out of water. And experts say the worst is yet to come. The Democrat mayor of Bogalusa, Louisiana, Tyrone Trong, was arrested while attending a conference in Atlanta after police say he took part in a drug trafficking scheme and solicited prostitutes. The investigation into a drug trafficking operation found that the DTO was allegedly involved with selling opioids, marijuana, and MDMA. Investigators say they used social media to sell the drugs and collect payment. The money was then used, they say, to buy firearms that were linked to violent criminals in the Bogalusa area. Trong, the youngest mayor to be elected, is now facing charges of engaging in transactions involving money from drug offenses, intentionally taking or using someone's personal property without permission, and the illicit solicitation of sex work. 6 others from Bogalusa are also being charged with transactions involving drug-related proceeds. At this hour, I'm Christina AGuayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories.
On this vote, the yeas are 264 and the nays are 159. The bill is passed without objection. The motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
159 House Democrats voted against the Laken-Riley Act. That passed because every single Republican, along with 48 Democrats, voted in favor. The bill is named after the 22-year-old nursing student that was brutally murdered in Georgia by an illegal migrant that was released by the Biden-Harris administration. The bill requires that illegals found guilty of crimes like burglary and other theft-related incidents are detained. It also allows states to sue DHS for harm caused to their citizens at the hands of illegal migrants. The usual suspects voted against the bill, including Veronica Escobar out of El Paso, Nancy Pelosi out of California, and Hakeem Jeffries out of New York. Georgia Governor Brian Kemp previously said that had this been in effect prior to Riley's death, she would still be alive. Jose Ibarra had been arrested but was never detained. Governor Greg Abbott is surging resources to the Texas Anti-Terrorism Task Force to aggressively fight against radical jihadist terrorism. The governor's move comes just days after Shamsuddin Jabbar from Houston carried out an ISIS-inspired terror attack in New Orleans that killed 14 people. Abbott saying that, quote, terrorism has no place in Texas and that law enforcement at all levels must aggressively collaborate to eliminate radicalization that can lead to terrorist attacks. A school district in Texas was forced to put Bibles back on the shelves of their school libraries after the superintendent of Canyon Independent School District, Daryl Flushy, pulled the Bibles. The super claiming that they violated the state's law banning books with sexual content from school libraries. However, according to the bill's author, Representative Jared Patterson, the Bible and other religious texts are protected under House Bill 900. Plus, he said the Bible does not have any sexually explicit content as defined by HB 900, adding that Flushy is either ignorant of state law or harbors open hostility to the will of the people. The Reader Act was signed into law by Governor Greg Abbott in 2023, and it went into effect in September of that same year. 45,000 U.S. dock workers are threatening to go on a strike that would shut ports on the east and Gulf coasts and could damage the American economy, just as President Donald Trump returns to the White House. If the standoff sounds familiar, it's because the same dock workers, members of the International Longshoremen's Association, staged a 3-day walkout last fall. In October, they suspended the strike until January 15th after reaching a tentative agreement with ports and shipping companies for a 62% pay raise over 6 years. They also want to stop automation from being used, but experts say this hurts the progress of American shipping. Union members must approve a final contract before receiving the higher wages. President Donald Trump making some pretty bold statements while at a news conference in Mar-a-Lago about January 6th. The president saying that the FBI knows who the January 6th pipe bomber is and that they should be investigated for their involvement in the events of that day. He also said that relief is coming for those who were wrongly prosecuted and jailed during the protest.
Well, we're looking at it, and we have other people in there. People that were doing some bad things weren't prosecuted, and people that didn't even walk into the building are in jail right now. So we'll be looking at the whole thing, but I'll be making major pardons, yes.
A federal judge in Florida has temporarily blocked the release of special counsel Jack Smith's report on investigations into Donald Trump, but who says it would be a fake report anyway. An appeals court is weighing a challenge to the disclosure of a much-anticipated document just days before the Republican president reclaims office. Donald Trump Jr. took a trip to Greenland's capital while on a private visit and was greeted by Trump supporters who were wearing Make America Great Again hats. This as the president has signaled that he would like Greenland to become part of the United States and plans on making moves when he gets back into office.
I can say this. We need them for economic security.
Last month, Trump said gaining control of Greenland was an absolute necessity. And more recently, he posted on Truth Social, Make Greenland Great Again. Jr. flew in on Trump Force One for the visit to the island that has a population of about 57,000 people. That's what you need to know at this hour. In Dallas, Christina, AGuayo, Salem News Channel.